Night falls in Southern Kaduna, but for many, the night does not bring rest. It brings the sound of gunfire, the crackle of burning homes, and the silence of voices never to be heard again. On October 2nd, 2025, that silence claimed 4 more lives, among them a young man whose future had just begun, and a driver whose only crime was taking passengers safely home. What happened that night is not just another headline. It is a story of blood, fear, and survival. And like every story in Africa, it carries the weight of both truth and legend. This is the tale of Southern Kaduna's unending night. In the heart of Southern Kaduna, a land rich with history and songs of the ancestors, tragedy struck again. It was Thursday, October 2nd, 2025. The sun had barely settled behind the hills of Kachia when the silence of Awon village was broken by gunfire. A commercial vehicle heading towards Kachia town was ambushed. The driver, Ibrahim Makama, a man known for his laughter on the road, was killed instantly. Beside him, Jonathan Jeremiah, a young man who had just completed his Nysc service, fell to the bullets. His white dreams of tomorrow were stained red before they could bloom. They say in Africa that when a young tree is cut down, the forest mourns silently, but the gap remains for generations. Jonathan sensed death is that gap. The bandits did not stop at killing. Many passengers were dragged into the night, vanishing into the forest that have become dark kingdoms of terror. Some escaped, running barefoot through the bush, their hearts pounding louder than their footsteps. This was not the first blood of the week. On Tuesday, September 30th, a farmer was gunned down in Awon. In Ankwa area, another man was kidnapped, ransom paid, but his captors still ended his life. And in the same region, a retired security officer has been held captive for over 2 months, a ghost to his family, a bargaining chip to his abductors. A villager, Sebastian Yakubu, described the horror and expressed his frustration. He alleged that even journalists are sometimes pressured or paid to remain silent, leaving communities without a voice. Whether true or not, his words reflect the deep sense of abandonment felt by many residents. But Southern Kaduna's story did not begin with these recent killings. It is a tale as old as the hills, where herders and farmers once shared land but now clash over soil and survival. The folk tales speak of a time when neighbors shared kola nuts and palm wine, but today the forests echo with ransom calls and gunfire. Wakeh village still carries scars of September 3rd when bandits stormed at night. 8 were killed, several houses burnt, many kidnapped. Mothers wailed into the darkness, calling names that never returned. Like in the folk tale of the tortoise, who thought himself clever until he dug a pit he could not escape. These attackers believe their reign of terror makes them kings. But history reminds us, no reign built on blood lasts forever. The killings in Jiwa, the abductions in Katari, the night raids in Bishini, they are all chapters in a book that Nigeria is yet to finish. And in each chapter, it is the poor, the farmer, the driver, the student who pay the heaviest price. The federal government speaks of peace talks. The state launches operations. Yet the people whisper that these are like pouring water into a basket. Nothing holds. Nothing changes. The bandits grow bolder, their guns louder, their demands higher. But here is the bitter truth. Silence is deadlier than bullets. Every time an attack is buried, every time the victims are forgotten, the bandits grow stronger. 4 people dead this week. Jonathan Jeremiah, whose uniform still smelled of service. Ibrahim Makama, who only wished to drive and feed his family. A farmer whose sweat watered the soil, but whose blood stained it instead. And an unnamed victim in Ankwa, whose ransom bought only his death. And still, the abducted remain in the forest, waiting, hoping. In the folk tales, when darkness grows too heavy, the ancestors send a light, a hero. A community that rises. Perhaps Southern Kaduna waits for that moment. Or perhaps, as some elders say, A village that forgets to tell its stories will be buried twice, once by violence and once by silence. This is the story of Southern Kaduna, told not by silence, but by voices that refuse to be buried. For in every crime lies a tale, and in every tale lies a truth that must be heard. But the question remains, how many more Jonathans must fall before the silence is broken? How many more villages must mourn before justice comes? What do you think? Can Southern Kaduna ever find peace, or will these stories continue to repeat like a curse? Share your thoughts in the comments, because every voice matters, and silence is no longer an option. Thank you for watching Story Legend. Please don't forget to like and subscribe for stories like this.